Is it just me, or does this guy look like an eel? Yeah, I'm serious. Like an eel you'd find in the ocean. The color, the way the eyes and the mouth are positioned, and obviously the shape. I'm sorry, Nile. You're an awesome diecast. I hate to compare you to an eel, which I find to be very gross and creepy and disgusting, especially if they're electric eels. So yeah, sorry, buddy, but just kind of my first thought. But yeah, guys, welcome back to another Mr. Docket review. Today we have Nile. That's right, just one Speedcone. Yeah, I think his name was Niles at some point, maybe on Walmart's website, but now it's Nile. I think Niles would have made more sense, but I think Nile's okay too. I don't know, you know what? I feel like we're saying Niles because it's like miles, so Nile's totally cool. This guy came out of 2023 Singles Case J. I just unboxed it recently. I'll leave the link for it in the description below and card suggestion pop up in the top right hand corner. Do I have to say it again? That's one of the best cases in years. It is the best case thus far. Like if you were brand new to collecting and got Case J, you'd be set with so much from the year. I mean, there is so much from this case that had come out months ago. May Pillar Direct, Claire Gunzer, Deputy McQueen. It's really a wonderful case, and yeah, definitely recommend it to everybody. And Nile here actually was new to the last case, Case H, but that case is kind of MIA right now. Hopefully I can get it soon because Jeremy and Mateo are only in that case so far. But thankfully Nile, he was introduced in that case and then came back in force in Case J. That's right, there are two of him in Case J. Now, thanks to everybody for pointing out that my second one is actually an air. You can tell that the window here just got completely plunked lower than it should have been. You can see there is the divot for the window where that decal should have gone, like you could see here. But the decal machine was like, nah, screw you today, man. And also is missing all of these decals. I believe it's missing them all because these decals, like the machine was just mispositioned, like everything was just lower. So when it went to stamp the car, it missed all of these because of the fact that it was set lower. So it would have just gone in like dead space. You know what I mean? Everything was just too low. So that got caught and everything went lower. I mean, you could see it here with this yellow stripe. That's way lower than it should be as well. It's also, you know, barely got this 700 numbers, 703, where it should be up there. So it's actually a super cool air. And again, it's I think one of three that I've pulled out of a case. I think my first one was Raul Sarul without mirrors, side view mirrors, and then Lizzie without a tire in the back. So I kind of have a knack for scooping up airs out of a case. So yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. And again, thanks to you guys for informing me about it because I had no idea and I could have opened it accidentally, which would have made me want to... All right. Yes, let's get on with the review here, eh? New for 2023. Now, he is supposed to be returning in Case K to him again, but he was not supposed to be in Case J. There was supposed to be two Lee Revkin, so it seems like the two from Case K moved up to Case J, so that probably will then affect Case K's contents. I don't think it will have two Nile Speedcones, but that is currently what it sits at. He does look a little shorter than I would imagine him being. I feel like they could have given him a little bit more length. We're going to compare him to Peggy Liner, obviously, but he is just like a little worm compared to Peggy, like a little baby Peggy. On the back here, you can see, obviously, as seen in Cars on the Road, Claire Gunzer was in Case F and Case J. Then you have Jeremy, who's so far only in Case H, along with Mateo. Maybe we'll see them in future cases. Mateo's in K, so there's that. Very excited to get them, especially Jeremy there. Griswold just lingering on everyone's card backs. He's a sneaky little guy or gal because it has not been a case in quite some time. Maybe he or she's in Case H, but I am not sure about that. And you know what? It might very well be in Case H because of the fact that I don't have it and Griswold's on all these card backs, so that would kind of make sense to me. Either way, enough about that. Cryptid Buster Mater, another Case H, but also carry over to this case, so I will be able to review him if I haven't already. I'm kind of doing these videos from Case J all out of order. I have done, this was the order so far, Adam Roadriguez, West Philampus, Pitstoposaurus, and Nile here, although that is not the order that they will come out in. And then we have the Quadratorchosaur, which hopefully has not been canceled, but should have been Case H, so either postponed or canceled, or just a complete tease. We'll see. Could be the first car they've canceled in quite some time. But I'll be right back with Mr. Speedcone all opened up. So as you can see by the background here, Mattel has hit this episode of Cars on the Road hard, salt fever, except for this guy. This is BJ Gaslam, a custom. He does appear in the Salt Flats episode, and I'll leave a link to my review of this custom in the description below and card suggestion pop-up. Yeah, definitely check that out. He's a great addition to the team here and fits right in with everybody. You couldn't even tell that's a custom. There is Nile from the episode. He actually is featured quite prominently at the beginning there and sets up the stage for Mater eventually going on to, being pushed off and kind of set down the racetrack, I guess. Not really a track, but just kind of like the straightaway that everyone races on. So yeah, he looks pretty intense. I love how intense he looks when he's going up to bat, basically. Again, looks like an eel. I'm sorry, my guy. But yeah, cool. I'm glad that he was featured. I'm glad that we have him so we don't end up with one of those situations like Josh Coolant, who was featured heavily and then not released for eons. But yeah, I do think he should be just a little longer. I'm not asking for like even a full centimeter. I'm just asking maybe for half a centimeter, maybe not even. It's hard to visualize with this stuff. But either way, he is awesome. Despite looking like an eel. I mean, this just is, again, a very unique car, and that is what I've been enjoying so much about Cars on the Road. It's really not only revitalized the hobby a little bit, but it's also just so refreshing nowadays. Every time you go to the store, you're kind of looking for something different, whereas over the last few years, it got super repetitive. It's like, oh yeah, another piston cut racer. Oh yeah, another next gen, another demolition derby racer. Oh yeah, another retro piston cut racer from the 1950s. Oh, we got another racing tractor. Yay. They barely did anything unique, right? There was Steve Herschel in there. That was cool. They did some of the, more background cars like Andrew Vrooman. But ultimately, the core of the last 6 years have been racers, whether it be derby, old, stock car, or next gen, or tractor. That is probably over 2/3 of what they've released in terms of new releases, and that just has gotten distasteful. Now, granted, this guy is a racer, right? But everything is so different here. I mean, this is a racer. And then, yeah, this guy's a racer who looks like River Scott, And then, of course, you have these two, like Peggy Liner and Nile here, that are very different. So, again, Cars on the Road might not have been my favorite thing in the world in terms of storyline. It still has been, it's done wonders for the hobby. I think it's given it new life and more longevity going forward. So, super excited about that. By the way, I'm actually kind of wondering what happened to the other side of my Nile Speedcone, just kind of randomly. It does look like the other side of him, the decals got applied properly. I can't really tell, though. And I'm certainly not opening it up. But yeah, all right, let's take a closer look here at the eel. Nice expression, looking happy, although he certainly doesn't look like this in the episode. He looks super intense. He does not have salty tires, which is kind of a surprise because Peggy did. Her whole base was white. And again, just more inconsistency for these Salt Flats racers. Although maybe they're switching all to the just normal tires because Gearston Marshall is a 2023 release. Peggy, technically last year. Last year's release, even though that 9-pack kind of edged its way out toward the end of the year and into 2023. Made in Thailand, S14, the 14th week of 2023 at the A Factory. Let's take a look at some of his decals here. 789, it looks like MONI 3 or MON 13. Monday the 13th. I don't know. Let me know if you guys know what the significance of that is. You have like some ventage here, some ventilation, and then you have intake. These must be some of his like sponsors or something. I cannot read that one at all. Thailand's blurriness is getting to him a little bit here. But yeah, just a very clean car. You don't get too many lime green cars these days, and I think he looks awesome. He was actually featured in that book that came out before the entire show came out that I made a video on, and I think I put him in the thumbnail because of how unique he looked. You have 703 in the back here, 523 up here, and again, his windows, they are textured so you can feel all those bolts. This fin up here is plastic, just like on Peggy, and same thing with the parachute, although the bumper and everything is die-cast metal. The base, you can clearly see where the base is here. Man, he's awesome. Really cool. I kind of want to throw him like a dart though, you know, like wow, because he's so aerodynamic looking. But yeah, again, so happy to have such a cool looking, unique model in the franchise. And just less than a year after the show came out, we're already getting into this cool stuff. You know, it's like they're not just doing McQueen and Mater variants and some of the more boring stuff. They are getting into the meat of it and some of these really cool background characters and some of the cool supporting characters like Jeremy and Mateo and Mateo, etc. So yeah, let's take a look here at the length. That's really what we care about here. Trying to line them up properly. So Nile is about half. Let's see here if I can kind of do a nice little measurement here. Nile is about half of a Peggy liner. So he started at the, oops, I moved it. No, let's move it back. This is not going to be exact science, but we're going to try our best. All right, so I think it's a little less, Peggy liner is a little less than 2 Nile Speedcones. But yeah, I do think he should be a little bit longer. Just a little bit. Maybe I'm wrong though. You guys let me know what you think. I've kind of debated this with some of my friends and you know, some agree, some don't. So let me know in the comments what you think. It is super cool to see them together though. I wonder which would be faster. I mean, I feel like Nile would have to be. Maybe Peggy is just because of the girthage of these engines here. I don't know. Yeah, both of them kind of have the vent action and the decals on the side. None of which have the same decals though. Like none of them have duplicate sponsors, I don't believe. That decal looks kind of similar to that one, but they are notably different. There's no black in this one. Nile doesn't seem to be racing for any specific country. 703, 714, so kind of close there. Peggy's rocking a white parachute versus the red. Peggy's still definitely cooler. I mean, the metallic red and gold gradients and all that, and just being Nile on steroids, basically. But again, both of them are awesome in their own ways. And both of them are smiling, despite not really being too friendly in the episode. Or at least Nile doesn't look friendly, and Peggy is kind of being boisterous and ignorant, I guess, a little bit from what I could tell. But yeah, guys, that is all. Again, I have nothing to compare these two. I looked back to my Peggy liner video to see who I compared to her. And yeah, I didn't really compare anyone to her because she is so unique. But going forward, see, now we have both of these two eel-looking cars. And let me know in the comments, who is your favorite Salt Flats racer? You have a lot of them now. You got Nile, you got Peggy, you got Revo Koss and Dats Jammin', who feel like old news now, even though last year Dats Jammin' was pretty amazing. I mean, everyone was in love with his like Zamac design. But yeah, he's kind of old news now. Royce Revsley, kind of old news too, especially since he peg warmed. BJ Gaslam, he's new news. And then you have Gearston Marshall, who's peg warmed. You got Sarah Cogs and Noriyuki, who've also kind of peg warmed. Super Speeder Mater, Mattel, what the hell? Where's he at? Come on. I need to see him as a die cast. Put him in a multi-pack like you did with Ivy. But at least we do have this plastic version here from the playset that should suffice for the time being. And yeah, guys, thanks as always for watching this video. I really appreciate your support. And I'll see you soon for another video. Bye now.